tool I use the most is the pitch tool. Obviously, it's for changing the pitch of a note. This is a portion of a vocal for a song I wrote. Let's listen really quick.
Had to buy a full price mattress new. Replace the one we used. The memory foam was holding on to you. I can't escape the truth. We're all just trying to make some elbow room.
Okay, the place where I hear the most pitchiness is right over here in this last section.
Let's do this.
I just want to zoom in so we can get a better look.
I can't escape the truth.
The word here, right here, the, is sort of right between two notes. It's supposed to be an A. So what I do is switch into the pitch tool, which is split into three parts. The first part is, the primary pitch tool, and then the secondary pitch tool is, I'll get into that in a second, the other part of this that I use most. So we're going to grab this word with the pitch tool, just drag it to where it's supposed to go. If you want to be really precise, you can always just double click a note and it'll put it right to the center of the pitch. Sometimes you want to be perfect, sometimes you don't.
Look at this, it's perfect.
In this case, it's such a small word. Usually I just double click it because then I know it's where it's supposed to be.
Can't escape the truth.
Now the other word,
Elbow.
now this is a scoop. Elbow. I've sort of split elbow into two notes.
Elbow room.
You see those little lines when you see a little I guess it's sort of an S, or there's like a sideways S. When you see those lines, that usually means you're scooping. Elbow. There's some slide between it, which is great. Just adds a little texture, so we don't need to fix that, but we do want to be a little more accurate with the note we end up on. Because a slide, the nature of a slide is that it's moving. It's often the place where singers aren't as accurate because they're moving, right? If you just sing one pitch, it's easier to be accurate.
Right.
So let's listen to this section again.
Can't escape.
That can go down.
Can't escape the truth.
That could go down a little too.
Can't escape the truth. We're all just trying to make some.
I thought this was a little flat, and this will.
To make some. To make some.
That's sharp. Whoa.
Oh, damn.
It's crazy how once you really slow down and start breaking things up, you start noticing little things you didn't notice at first. And those little things individually aren't that big a deal, but they do add up eventually to make the vocals sound a little more loose than you might want it to be.
Can't escape the truth. We're all just trying to make some elbow room.
So that's the primary pitch tool. The second thing that the pitch tool does, and we can switch to that either through the menu right here or by using our key commands, which you can make whatever you want. I use the number 2 on my keyboard to just cycle between the different pitch tools. What the second thing does, it takes the lines within each blob and flattens them out. Not completely. Well, you can make them completely flat. For example, this note, just, which has a lot of vibrato in it. If I just double click it with the secondary pitch note, you see that goes away. But it makes it sound really synthetic, because it is. So we're gonna undo that, and what we can do instead is just drag down with it and just minimize it.
We're all just.
We don't need to get rid of vibrato. There's nothing wrong with vibrato. It might just be a little too much in that moment, and we can use that tool to get, just to tame it down.
I can't escape the truth.
I'm just going to split this using the split tool, which I'll get into later.
The truth. The truth.
Now this note is an example of a place that might be useful to use the secondary tool. So we can use the primary pitch tool to put everything to center. But the secondary one could just tame some of these harsh lines. Now, even though the pitch tool is the one I use the most, the splitting tool is really important and usually actually comes first. And that's because in each word, there's certain things you want to tune and certain things you don't. And By using the split tool, we can tell Melodyne this, this I want to tune and this I don't. A good use of the split tool would be on this word right here, where we end up at the pitch we want, but we've got a little bit here at the beginning of the word where it's not super accurate. So the splitting tool is this last one over here. We activate that, and then we double click on the note where we want to make that split. And now that splits what was one blob into two blobs. And now any changes we make to this one right here will not affect the line over here, and vice versa. So I'm going to drag this down so that it ends up where we want it to be. And you'll see that once I'm in the pitch tool, this little yellow line appeared between the two new blobs. It appears between every blob, and what it is there to do, it's not actually doing anything yet, but what it's there to do is help us make that transition between the new blobs, especially in cases where we created a transition that wasn't there, create a split that wasn't there. It helps us smooth it over. And so what you can do is you see as I drag up on it, it gets longer. And if you look at the actual little line that goes through the blobs that represents the note, the pitch I'm actually singing, you can see it changing. That's tuning. Not only are we able to drag the pitch around to wherever we want it to be, but we can also use this tool to help smooth that transition. The other place we could look right here, maybe another split necessary. And now, because we've split this a couple times, the pitch centers have all been recalculated. So I'm just going to go in here, and this is sort of, not cheating, but a little quick and dirty. If I just double click all of them, it puts them all to pitch center. I don't show you that because you should always do that, but in this case, it's probably fine. Let's smooth that out and see how this sounds. Much more even. Let's compare that to how it sounded before. I'm just going to undo all the changes we made. Just much flatter, much simpler, less distracting from, the message of the song, what we're trying to get through.
Can't escape the truth, we're all just trying to...
Now right here, I didn't quite get down far enough. And that's how using that split tool can be really useful, because if we don't split this right here, and I try to use the pitch tool to get it right, I have to choose between having all of this accurate or this accurate. We have our own handle now to control the pitch of that entirely on its own. And if that transition starts to sound a bit mechanical, which it does there a little, we go back to the pitch tool and smooth that back out.
Nice.
Like that.
Try to make some.
I think I want to split here.
Try to make some elbow room.
So you can see there how going back and forth between the split and the pitch, the split pitch, split pitch, split pitch, split pitch tools allows us to work really quickly, efficiently, and accurately.